Hello and welcome to this video and this channel. I'd like to give an overview of what to expect from a Reiki session, from Indigo Insight and particularly from myself. I'd like to point out here we're very proud of our heritage, in our Reiki heritage. It's actually quite an important lineage line to have. And I'm actually really proud of mine because mine has very few levels, as it were. So anyway, that's my boasting over. Let's get to a Reiki session. So I like to provide a professional service, a professional level service. Typically, most Reiki sessions that I have performed in the time that I've been, gifted with Reiki, or finding out that I could actually give people Reiki, I prefer, and I think most of my clients prefer, to actually lie down on a bench, a bed, or I have this therapy table. I have a booster cushion that you can rest your head on, and I also provide a fleece for some clients that actually feel the after effects of feeling cold, and I'll maybe explain that a little bit later on. But the overall session will start with a consultation. If it's the first time we've met, I will actually ask, is there anything specific that you're expecting from the session, or that you would like focus on? If it's pain related, or if it's post surgery or pre-surgery, or there are a number of benefits of Reiki which I've actually produced, and I will probably scroll that up on the screen here as I'm talking away. But it goes from, the benefits go from wanting to just be relaxed, a well-being sort of feeling. Reiki itself is a sort of a natural therapeutic therapy as such, and so it's a holistic therapy, and it can reduce stress, it can obviously relax you, and it can also promote healing. Now, I've had some, without going into too many details, but I've had amazing results, not only for myself and also for my wife, which I'm quite happy to share those stories with you, but also with other people. And I would like to say other people that were, if you like, disbelievers of any form of holistic therapy have now been converted, just literally from having one session, which for me speaks amazing. So it can help with sleep, self-healing. It accelerates the body's self-healing process, assists the body in cleansing itself of toxins. Obviously, it's a support for any form of medicine, or medical issues and such like that you're having done. I see Reiki as going very much hand in hand with the, if you like, the mainstream medical world, as it were, that we're used to in this modern day society. It supports the immune system, it increases vitality, it helps spiritual growth and emotional clearing. And there are a lot of other things that I know that Reiki can do, and that I've actually used it for. So anyway, getting back to what a typical Reiki session with myself involves. There are forms to fill out. This is a professional therapy, and I have actually, over a period of time, designed forms. So first of all, there is a consent form. You are consenting to me actually giving you Reiki. It's not a diagnosis. It's not a diagnosis therapy of any sort for an illness or disease. We don't prescribe medications. We don't give, I personally do not give advice on any medical issue whatsoever. This therapy is about healing and promoting your own healing, and promoting your body's immune system and its own self-healing process. And in that process, you will see results for, a whole range of ailments. So first of all, there's a consent form. After that, we have a client information form. And this is important because if you are going to return for therapy at any time in the future. It's good with most holistic therapies to get a history, just like the medical profession and the mainstream doctors and such like do. They keep a history, what's changed, what's improved, what hasn't improved, what else has occurred, how are you feeling, do you feel like it's working, and such like. So it's actually quite simple, to be honest. It's a one-pager, and we don't go into any real serious like personal details and such like. It's really just as a record, not only for the association that I belong to and I adhere by their rules, but also from a professional level, and for your own peace of mind, as it were, that this is a professional therapy. And then that's about that. So that's the formality over and done with, probably in a couple of minutes. The session will start basically with just relaxing. You can actually be sitting in a chair, however you feel relaxed. Personally, I think the Reiki is best received on a therapy table or lying down, because in that way you can close your eyes, relax a lot more muscles than if you're sitting in a chair. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Reiki will work with you if you're sitting in a chair. It's just a better experience, I think, if you're lying down. And so during the session, I will actually start to play some really non-distracting but therapeutic music in the background, and I use this little speaker. It's extremely low. There is you in fact, it's almost inaudible, but when you go through a Reiki session, you relax so much that I find your senses are heightened. So your sense of hearing tends to be heightened, and so the atmosphere is quite an important thing to have, and I like to create a very calm atmosphere. Now, that doesn't matter whether you're here in our environment, the environment that we're in here, or whether you're in your own home. It generally creates an atmosphere of calm. And if you're not allergic to things like joss sticks, or I have an aromatherapy device, as it were, that burns sort of natural perfumed oils. Again, it's not overpowering, it's just there to kind of lift the spirits and create a relaxed atmosphere. There is a method to Reiki that patients are just not really aware of, because typically you're closing your eyes, you're just relaxing, and all Reiki practitioners will go through their process of delivering the Reiki to you. Now, there are two things that I would like to point out. One, the first thing is, I tend not to put my hands on people. There are Reiki practitioners that feel more comfortable putting their hands on you. I tend to work with my hands, a couple of centimeters away from your skin, and that, if you tend to suffer from, feeling cold or chilled, you will have a blanket on you as well anyway. It doesn't really matter what's happening, but I will work, with clothes on, obviously, a blanket over you, and I don't. And the only time that I will actually touch any patient, and we go through this in the initial meeting anyway, for the first time. The only time I actually touch someone is behind their head when they're lying down. The rest of the time I work hands off. That appeals to quite a lot of clients, because they don't like the fact that somebody, especially if it's a stranger, is actually touching them. But you can certainly feel the Reiki coming through. This is the feedback I get back from clients, that they feel the Reiki coming through even though I'm not actually physically touching them. So, it works. The other thing is the length of time. Typically, a Reiki session will last between sort of 45 minutes and 60 minutes, depending on how it goes. Now, what do I mean by that, how it goes? It depends on whether, if there is a specific area that needs more attention than the rest of your body, and sort of a full Reiki session is both your front and your back typically. It takes you know, if everything goes well, as it were, it will take about 45 minutes to 60 minutes. If there is an area that I feel you need more attention or you need more energy in that specific area, typically if you've just had surgery for something or you're suffering with a severe pain in a particular area, I may focus on that area for a lot longer than I would do if it was just a straightforward Reiki session. So that's really all there is to it. Fees wise, it's best to actually phone and find out about fees. We feel that we are very, you know, quite competitive with most Reiki practitioners. We tend to have a higher fee for the first visit. And then if you are a repeat client and you come back on a regular basis, we lower the fee down quite a lot. So, you know, it encourages people to have Reiki on a regular basis. And yeah, so that's basically it. After the session, you know, sometimes clients will sort of almost go to sleep or go into a meditative state, and I gently bring you round so that you sort of become aware of your surroundings again and everything around. And then, you know, you will just I will always recommend that you drink water afterwards. It's good to just rehydrate your system and clear out any toxins that are, you know, potentially around that's come out of the Reiki session. And then that's the end of the session, really. And we always welcome clients to come back again, you know, but maybe the next session doesn't need to be quite so long, or it could be focused on a particular thing, you know, particular area that needs attention. Whatever the client actually needs is what we do. So anyway, I hope you found that informative, and it's given an overview of how I work as a Reiki practitioner and will work with you. And we look forward to hearing from you.